true, the stock market did a Jesus. It died, then on the third day it was risen. And on the fourth day it died again, possibly never to return, just like Jesus. And on the fourth day it died again, possibly never to return, just like Jesus.
This is the Nations Conspire channel. Welcome to today's show. You can't make up the open blasphemy at this point. The only faith that is mocked in this world and allowed to be mocked is Christianity. The only person that's allowed to be mocked is Jesus Christ. You never hear anything about Buddha. You certainly won't hear anything about Allah, but you could constantly count on shows like Saturday Night Live to mock Jesus Christ and get away with it, because this isn't the first time, and I've exposed Saturday Night Live so many times over the years. But that specific quote right there, just like Jesus, the stock market died, rose again from the dead, and then died again, never to return, just like Jesus. That's the quote that came out of this clown's mouth. As Christians wait for the return of Jesus Christ, well, he's never going to return, according to Saturday Night Live, right? Ahead of Easter, SNL's Trump says stocks did a Jesus in falling, rising, and falling again. And of course, it shouldn't surprise anybody, like I said earlier, about Saturday Night Live constantly doing these things out in the open. You may remember just a few weeks ago where Lady Gaga did a ritual at a Friendly's that involved cannibalism, right? And all of these deities that started coming out of the woodwork, and they were all chanting in tongues. And of course, I covered that topic and immediately got a strike for bullying because I was pointing out who those actual deities were, because they're actually real deities that these Satanists worship, and the majority of people at home who watch that show or may have watched some Christian channel on YouTube that was yelling and screaming about it. Well, most of them think that these are fictional deities, and they actually were talking about real deities, even in relation to Baphomet. But I want to play for you the clip in its entirety because it's mockery. And this is not new. They did this last year. They continued to do this every time around Easter, every time it's around the resurrection. They start bringing out the Donald Trump character. They start bringing out their Jesus character. They start pretending like the Bible is a book of fiction, and then they just mock it openly, whether it's them openly talking about Easter eggs and all this other stuff and the Easter bunny and trying to connect that to Jesus Christ, which again, we all know, and if you don't know, you should know, that Easter is a pagan religion. If you want to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ on that specific day, go ahead. But Easter itself, with the Easter bunny and the eggs, this all goes back to Ishtar, which I've broken down many times, and those videos are available on the website. But this is the clip from Saturday Night Live. This is supposed comedy in the year 2025.
I will rid this place of all its money. Remind you of anyone? Wow, I also got rid of money last week, but instead of one temple, I did whole country. Hi, it's me, your favorite president, Donald Jesus Trump, comparing myself to the Son of God once again. Many people are even calling me the Messiah because of the Messiah made out of the economy. It's true, the stock market did a Jesus. It died, then on the third day it was risen. And on the fourth day it died again, possibly never to return, just like Jesus. Where the heck is that guy? Come back, get me out of this. Oh, and Jesus Christ is a name we've been saying a lot lately. We're saying it a lot. Look at our 401k and say, Jesus Christ, where did it all go? Look at Jesus back there, flipping the table like a real housewife. Teresa. It's almost time for Easter, a holiday that is so special and frankly upcoming to me. And today is the first day of Passover for our Jewish friends. We love Easter, we love bunny, we love hunting for eggs. We love Easter. It's the day where the most homophobic people try to dress as gay as possible. We are looking forward to Easter Mass, definitely. Some people only go to church on Christmas and Easter. Not me. I don't go on those days either. I'm playing four-dimensional chess, okay? Bing, bing, bang, bang, bing, 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 bang, bang, bing. King me! But in the holiest of seasons, Easter, let us remember the lesson that Mr. Jesus taught us when he went buck wild on those money changers. We must never mix religion with commerce. You can read all about that in my Trump Bible. Now made in America, so it costs $1,300.
And of course, it's the only faith that's allowed to be mocked out in the open. Any other faith that did, was subjected to a Saturday Night Live skit, right? We know if they did a skit about Allah or Buddha and they were mocking what these followers actually believe, well, there would be an uprising over it. They would have to cancel the show. But when it comes to Christianity, you're allowed in America to constantly mock. And again, I've covered Saturday Night Live so many times over the years, like I said earlier, from the Satanic Panic skit with Lady Gaga that they wouldn't allow me to talk about, or even last year when they did that openly, very clear what they were trying to get across skit with Joe Biden and the panda, and anybody out there that knows the reference of the panda and what it means or pertains to with these demonic activities that these people are involved in. Well, it was pretty clear when they put that skit out there. But I also want to show you, because this isn't new. This is just a continuing effort. There's nothing funny about it. It just makes Christians look like fools. It makes Christians yoked up with Donald Trump, which is one of the things that they try to do with these skits, is make it seem like all these Christians, they worship the ground that Donald Trump walks on. They're all buffoons, right? This was the skit that they aired last year on Easter. Very similar to this skit. So I guess it's an annual thing now, where it's a very sacred day. And again, we're not going to go into detail about Easter and Ishtar, but the majority of Christians celebrate Easter as the resurrection day. And it's very sacred to most Christians. It's the day that Jesus rose from the dead. But they, of course, can take that day every single year and make a mockery of it. Here's the skit from last year.
Easter, the celebration of the rebirth of Christ.
This is it. The tomb where his body is laid.
Mary and I are here to support you.
Think maybe we should come up with a girl's name other than Mary.
What is that noise that comes from within? Look, the stone.
Is it Jesus?
Basically, yes. That's right, it's Easter, the time of year when I compare myself to Jesus Christ. Some people seem to be okay with that. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm selling Bibles. Look at this beautiful Bible. It's like a joke, and in many ways it is, but it's also very real. It's my favorite book. My favorite part is probably the ending. I'm doing this for the glory of God. It's so sad. Religion and Christianity are totally gone from this country, and we need them back. Going to love my new, and I would say even better, Bible. Now, my Bible also includes some beautiful illustrations, like Moses floating down the river in the basket. Here's Trump in the basket. Right behind Moses, about to pass on the left. I am in the Garden of Eden with my actual body. Here's Noah's Ark. All the animals are on the ark. There's me yelling at Noah, "Hey, buddy, you forgot the raccoon." But we love religion and we love God. God's the Beyonce. Jesus is the Kelly Rowland, and Holy Ghost would probably be the Black Michelle Williams. Also throw in a free Trump miracle toaster. Anyway, it's Easter Eve, so let us bow our heads. I'm not going to. Lord's Prayer, which we all know very well, me especially. Our Father who are in heaven, and please lead us into temptation. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Easter Bunny.
So again, this is just a common theme now. I guess we could expect this every single year, right? Anytime it's Resurrection Day, they're going to roll out Donald Trump, make it seem like he's Jesus himself, and of course even say blasphemous things about how Jesus Christ is not going to return, that he's not going to come back, right? And I covered too, if you actually go through and you put SNL with Satanism, you get a lot of these blasphemous skits that they've done over the years, including the one I mentioned with Lady Gaga. And I'm sure you've all heard of the church lady that they did with Dana Carvey in the 80s, or I should say the 90s on Saturday Night Live. And even last year when I covered this band, Boy Genius, that openly starts a song by saying, "Would you be a Satanist with me?" I mean, this is on Saturday Night Live, ladies and gentlemen.
Once again, Boy Genius.
Would you be a Satanist? Would you be a Satanist? Would you be a Satanist?
So of course we see Satanism running rampant, and humor is a big part of mind control. they use humor to deflect and invert things. So anytime there's a serious topic, like any of the stuff that's discussed on this channel, they actually go out of their way on their comedy shows, whether it's Colbert doing his tinfoil hat crap, to when all that stuff happened at the pizza parlor, they had to roll out Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, constantly doing skits where they were programming the audience out there to think that we were all insane people, just making things up, right? Nobody ever discussed, hey, this guy was posting this crap on his Instagram account. Pictures of little infants with pizza slices over certain regions of their body. And anybody out there who saw those things, if they had shown you that on the nightly news, you would have said, this guy needs to be investigated. That's disturbing. Even if nothing's going on at that pizza place, the guy should be investigated because only someone with a sick mind would post those things. But of course, they have to go out of their way to put these comedy skits out there like the one I'm about to show you to make people out there think that we're all nuts. You might remember this one with Adam Driver. This is one of the most ridiculous clowns in Hollywood these days, who I give a little credit to. He gets a little bit creative with his all-seeing eye symbolism. I mean, we're so used to just seeing somebody hold a hand up over their eye, but Adam Driver gives us, putting scotch tape over his eye or pretending he's sleepy and rubbing his eye, or even this disgusting imagery he's doing the 666 with his tongue, or he's tying some type of coat around his eye. Hey, I'll give him credit for that, but this was a skit. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, how they desensitize people. This was a skit that aired on Saturday Night Live when he hosted. And they obviously wanted to tie conspiracy theorists into being completely insane people. They show a whiteboard where it has things like fluoride and chemtrails on it. And he plays a real creepy character, right? Who is reaching out to an old friend, and he mentions, he's not allowed 1,000 feet or 1,000 yards near a school. He comes across as what they call homophobic. Of course, he's a proud gun owner, and he's got all the stuff up on his whiteboard. This is how they program people into thinking that we're all insane, and that's really the role of some of these shows like Saturday Night Live. They're not there to make you laugh. By having a show that is supposedly comedy and supposed to be funny, they put these skits in, and subliminally it programs the audience out there into thinking things like chemtrails are insane, that fluoride in the water is an insane notion. All of these things that they have done and gotten away with doing to humanity. And then the sheeple out there see it and they're like, oh yeah, these guys are crazy conspiracy nuts, right? Put a little UFO up on the wall next to a sign about chemtrails or fake news and woke media, even putting the Illuminati pyramid up with the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, the Eye of Providence, or pentagram. Just look at this skit, okay? This is a perfect example of how they program people.
My mom has not changed this room since I left for college.
Who's this?
Oh, that's Keith. He was my best friend growing up. He lived a few doors down. I haven't seen Keith in like 15 years.
Well, you should reach out.
Hey, Keith. It's Jake. It's been forever, man.
Jake Mitchell? Wow, I'd love that. Where do you want to go?
Finnegan's?
That's not a gay bar, right? Is it more than 1,000 feet from a school?
Keith.
For real, though, is it more than 1,000 feet from a school?
Probably.
I'm in. I lost the love of my life last year.
I'm so sorry.
Here's my fave pic of us. It's crazy that they can just take a gun away from you because of what you say online. I have so much to tell you about.
How did I not know Keith's a full psycho?
Because you never go on
Facebook. Still the best way to see which old friend.
So again, anybody out there that sees this stuff, I mean, how do you not see a pattern here with this show? This show never has a skit about Buddha, like I said, never has a skit always about Jesus, always mocking Jesus, then yoking up Christians with Donald Trump, where he comes out and he's like, I'm the Messiah, he calls himself the Messiah. And of course, we've seen this narrative out in the mainstream media, right? Where Christians are looking at Donald Trump in the same light as God. They're going, well, Jesus is my God, but Donald Trump is my president, while they're bowing down to golden calf statues of Donald Trump. And it's a year after year after year thing, right? If it isn't Easter or if it isn't the resurrection and they're not openly mocking Jesus, well, what are they doing on the flip side? Well, they're showing you satanic rituals, right? where nobody in the audience even has a clue what they're seeing. And they're like, am I supposed to laugh at this? Because the laugh box is telling me to laugh at Lady Gaga eating a human heart at Friendly's. And nobody out there even knows what they're supposed to laugh at, but they're laughing because they call it programming, okay? And the product being programmed and manufactured is the audience out there. And that's the whole purpose of television, specifically these comedy skits. They play a big role in brainwashing people, a big role, because when they do these skits and then they laugh and make fun of people like us, who again aren't allowed to question them, we're not allowed to even point out what they're doing out in the open. Well, the audience sees that and like, right, that's just crazy. That's ridiculous, right? Tinfoil hat, right? I mean, that's one of the perfect examples, right? Stephen Colbert does the tinfoil hat. We always see that. It's a common theme. Even on Saturday Night Live, they'll have somebody wearing a tinfoil hat. So automatically everyone's like, oh, it's a crazy conspiracy theorist who lives in grandma's basement, right? Yet none of these people have any clue about EMF frequencies and what they do to you, right? Then they wonder, oh, why do you have problems? Why do you have Parkinson's? Why do you have cancer? Why are these things occurring? Why are you having health issues? Why are you depressed? Why can't you have kids? Right? I mean, it's real simple, but they train them into thinking it's all nuts. So when you bring it up to them, you're like, you know why some of these stories are out there about men and women not being able to have babies anymore? Have you looked at the frequencies coming out of the phone that's in your pocket right near your crotch? Oh, that's just a conspiracy theory, right? Right. Then you could hold up even an EMF reader right by them, and they'll still say it's a conspiracy. You could take the EMF reader because they've been trained so well by these people to be complete sheeple. You could hold it up and show them the frequency coming out of the phone. Then you can go over to the microwave and be like, would you find this safe? Would you want to put a limb in the microwave? And they'd be like, no. Well, look, here's the frequencies coming out of a microwave, and here's the frequencies coming out of your phone. Okay? Oh, well, they're not as high as the microwave that's currently on. Oh, but do you think this is beneficial to you? Are you figuring out why people can't have kids anymore? Is that just some weird thing that, men and women aren't having babies? Used to be like the average household would have 5 kids, right? Now people are like frantically trying to get all these things done, these medical operations, the IVFs, etc., just to be able to have 1 child. And still they're not suspicious. You can point all this stuff out, right? Hey, those look like real clouds to you? And they go, what? Well, the sky's not supposed to be in a haze like we're in Los Angeles. There's supposed to be these things called clouds. Yeah, that's just streaks in the sky. See the plane leaving it, and then the whole day goes from blue sky to, and they go, I don't know about, how about the fluoride in the water? Right? I mean, we've been told about Stalin and all these guys who put fluoride in the water to dumb down the people, right? But it's for your teeth, they tell you, right? That's why everybody still has cavities. The only reason people have cavities, of course, is because of the crap that they jam in the food, because they put sugar in pretty much everything. You could be buying Cheerios and thinking to yourself, oh, it's whole grain oats. Oh, wait a minute. It's got sugar in it. Oh, wait a minute. This is sugar. Milk has sugar in it? Yeah. And why do you think your teeth are rotting? The fluoride isn't going to do anything to benefit you, but they'll tell you that, and then people will repeat it because that's what sheeple do. So Saturday Night Live, back to the topic at hand here. Again, I mean, just that notion of what they said, okay, that quote about Jesus died, he rose again, then he died again, and then he's never going to return again. Just the fact that they can get away with that tells you where we're at in 2025. Now, I'm sure there'll be people out there who are in uproar about it. Some Christians will be in an uproar about it, but these are the same ones that worship the ground Donald Trump walks on, and they're probably going to just be more upset about the fact that they made fun of Donald Trump than the fact that they continually target one specific faith, right? And at the same time, in between episodes, right, you get just the Jesus mockery, you get the same mockery last, Resurrection Day, last Easter, and then you get Lady Gaga eating a human heart, and you're told if you criticize it, of course, that you lose your right to free speech because you can't criticize that, right? It's an utter joke. And the skit from last year was offensive too, how they mocked, Noah's Ark, they mocked some of the stories in the Bible, right? It's absolutely incredible. It's incredibly sad. The world that we live in today. So while they're making jokes about Jesus never returning, I mean, we're all looking forward to the day that the trumpets sound. So the mockers and all the people out there who are leading people astray, specifically shows like this, people who tell everyone out there that we're all the crazy ones and try to tell us that, oh man, MAGA, you have to be a MAGA supporter to be. All these people will get what's coming, and we all look forward to that one day. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.